Want to give all the praise, all the glory, all the honor unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rekah, Kodash. Double honors goes out to the elder apostles of Great Millstone for teaching me the truth. Also want to acknowledge all the Akyam who are pushing the truth. Who are pushing the truth with sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth, and shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. And this is Shabbai coming to you through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Shabbai from the GMS Denver camp. And I'm going to go in on John 15 through the spirit. It says, this is Yahweh Shai speaking. It says, I am the true vine, and my Father is the husbandman. Every branch in me that beareth not fruit, he taketh away. And every branch that beareth fruit, he purgeth it, that it may bring forth more fruit. Okay? And the branches are the Israelites, the prophets. It says in verse 3, now ye are clean through the word which I have spoken unto you. So what cleans us, what cleanses us? It is ministry, this scriptures. This is what cleans us, sanctifies us. Let's go to Psalm. Let's see, Psalm, what is it, 109? I'm trying to remember. Oh, shit, Psalm. Salakia, give me a second here. Psalms 119 and 9 tells you, Beth, wherewithal shall a young man cleanse his way? By taking heed thereto according to thy word. So how do we get cleansed? Is by taking heed to this word, to the scriptures. John 15:3 says, now ye are clean through the word which I have spoken unto you. Abide in me, and I in you. As the branch cannot bear fruit of itself except it abide in the vine, no more can ye except ye abide in me. I am the vine, ye are the branches. He that abideth in me, and I in him, the same bringeth forth much fruit. For without me ye can do nothing. Okay? So without Yahweh Shai, we can't do anything. If it wasn't for Yahweh Shai, we wouldn't even have this understanding of these scriptures. Okay, if it wasn't for what he did by going up on that cross and putting his life on the line for the elect. So just remember, you can't do nothing without Yahweh Shai. If it wasn't for Yahweh Shai, we'd still be in pagan Christianity. It says, if a man abide not in me, he is cast forth as a branch, and is withered, and men gather them and cast them into the fire, and they are burned. Okay? If you're not abiding in Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushai, you're useless. You coming in the spirit of God and cracker Jesus, you're useless. You're going to get thrown into the fire. Okay, verse 7. If ye abide in me, and my words abide in you, ye shall ask what ye will, and it shall be done unto you. So the only thing we can do is abide in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Okay? Herein is my Father glorified, that ye bear much fruit. So shall ye be my disciples. By us doing sound doctrine, teaching sound doctrine, teaching the true philosophy, the true doctrine, the knowledge according to understanding, or the understanding according to knowledge. That's what it takes to glorify Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai. You people who are coming in different names, you people who are adding or taking away from the doctrine, you don't glorify the Father or the Son by being, rebellious. Okay, that's rebellious if you're teaching outside, if you add or you take away from these scriptures. It says, as the Father hath loved me, so have I loved you. Continue ye in my love. If ye keep my commandments, ye shall abide in my love, even as I have kept my Father's commandments and abide in his love. So we keep the commandments to the best of our ability, okay? Because we know that in the flesh we're going to always fall short. These things have I spoken unto you, that my joy might remain in you, and that your joy might be full. This is my commandment, that ye love one another as I have loved you. And love goes into obedience, okay? So that commandment is really, he's telling us that we need to be, we need not to transgress the law. We need not to sin, okay? Greater love hath no man than this, that he may lay down his life for his friends. And Yahweh Shai, that's what he did. He laid his life down for his friends, who are his prophets, his servants, his disciples, we're his brothers. And another meaning or word for brother is friend. Also tells you in Wisdom of Solomon 7:27. It's one of my favorite verses. And being but one, talking about wisdom, she can do all things, and remaining in herself, she maketh all things new, making all things refreshed. And in all ages, entering into holy souls, she maketh them friends of the Most High and prophets. Okay? So John 15:14. Ye are my friends if you do whatsoever I command you. Right? And if you when that wisdom enters into those holy souls, it's gonna give you a desire to keep the commandments to the best of your ability, because we're in captivity, so we got to face that. But it doesn't mean we just abandon the laws. We just abandon, everything, that the law is obsolete. No, you still have to strive to keep it to the best of your ability. All right, and we know we're going to fall short. We already know that. But if we want to be friends with the Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai, then guess what? Keep the laws to the best of your ability. Henceforth I call you not servants, for the servant knoweth not what his Lord doeth. But I have called you friends, for all the things that I have heard of my Father I have made known unto you. All right? So there's levels to this, right? The servants are not going to know all the prophecies, but the ones who do serve the Most High, and the ones who are become the friends, right? The ones who are considering the laws, statutes, and commandments, the ones that are, trying to abide in Yahweh Shai, meaning we try to be the best models as Yahweh Shai, right? We're an ensign for Israel, for the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. If you're a teacher, if you're calling yourself a prophet, you're supposed to lift up the standard. See? And really, Yahweh Shai, he's the true ensign, right? Let's grab this real quick. Let me go to Isaiah 5:26, see what that says. And he will lift up an ensign to the nations from far, and will hiss unto them from the end of the earth, and behold, they shall come with speed swiftly. So the ensign, and then we'll go to Isaiah 11:10. It says, and in that day there shall be a root of Jesse, which shall stand for an ensign of the people. To it shall the Gentiles seek, and his rest shall be glorious. And in that day shall come to pass, in that day, that the Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, and from Egypt, and from Pathros, and from Cush, and from Elam, and from Shinar, and from Hamath, and from the islands of the sea. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. Right? So that ensign, it starts out with Yahweh Shai, but then guess what? The prophets, we have the same spirit as Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, and that's why all these Israelites from all these different lands and different sides of the world, like it says here, from the corners of the earth, four corners, the north, east, the west, and the south, we're gonna, that's what his prophets are doing. That's what his men, that's what the title of the prophet is, God's man, right? God's man is the prophet. Yahweh's man are the prophets. Okay? The ensign, Yahweh Shai. And then we are also ensigns. Okay? Let me get that word ensign real quick. Let me go to Isaiah. Let's see. What is it? Isaiah 11. Let me see. So it's Nes or Nase. Let me see.
Strong's H 5251. Nace.
Okay. So here it is right here. It says something lifted up. A standard. A signal. A sign. An ensign. Right? So what's been lifted up? Yahweh Shai has been lifted up. He's the standard, right? And he's what we should strive to be like. Right? So you have the first it's Yahweh Shai, then it's his prophets. The prophets, we're setting up a standard. We're lifting up the standard, right? Our people were a noble vine, and now they're a degenerate plant. Now we got to get our people back to the mindset of becoming a noble vine again, right? Jeremiah 2:21. Yet I have planted thee a noble vine, holy, a right seed. How then art thou turned into a degenerate plant of a strange vine unto me? Remember, Yahweh Shai, he said he's the vine. We're the branches. Right? So it's by the prophets, we're setting up that standard again on the earth. We're setting, we're pushing that vibration of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, that we're pushing that spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is back on the earth, and it's because Yahweh Shai went up on that cross, almost 2,000 years ago, gave us the ability to receive this knowledge, receive this ministry, receive this holy priesthood, right? Let's get Revelation 5.
Strong's H 5251.
So
Nace. Nace.
that's ensign. It says here in Revelation, I'm going to start at the top, Revelation 5:1. And I saw in the right hand of him that sat on the throne a book written within and on the backside sealed with 7 seals. All right. That's why Christians, pagan Christians, they say, "Oh, we don't know everything in the Bible because the book is sealed." Right. It says, and I saw a strong angel proclaiming with a loud voice, "Who is worthy to open the book and to loose the seals thereof?" And no man in heaven nor in earth, neither under the earth, was able to open the book, neither to look thereon. And I wept much, because no man was found worthy to open and read the book, neither to look thereon. So nobody was worthy to break the seals, right? When you have a book and you have sealed, it's sealed. You can't access it. You can't get anything out of it. You can't get no knowledge, no truth, no nothing. Because the book we're reading about is the Bible, right here in chapter 5 in Revelation. And it says in verse 5, and one of the elders saith unto me, Weep not, behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the root of David, hath prevailed to open the book and to loose the 7 seals thereof. So there you go. If it wasn't for Yahushua, we wouldn't have these seals. These 7 seals wouldn't have been loosened. We wouldn't have access. Okay? And beheld, and lo, in the midst of the throne and of the 4 beasts, in the midst of the elders, stood a lamb as it had been slain, which is Yahushua, having 7 horns and 7 eyes, which are the 7 spirits of the Most High sent forth in all the earth. A complete number of spirits. It says, and he came and took the book out of the right hand of him that sat upon the throne. And when he had taken the book, the 4 beasts and the 24 elders fell down before the Lamb, having every one of them harps and golden vials full of odors, which are the prayers of the saints. And they sung a new song, saying, Thou art worthy to take the book and to open the seals thereof, for thou wast slain and hast redeemed us to the Most High by thy blood out of every kindred and tongue and people and nation. And hast made us unto our power kings and priests, and we shall reign on the earth. You see, Yahushua was that lamb that was slain, and because of him, like I said, guess what? We've been made kings and priests and going to reign on the earth, and it's because of Yahushua. Okay, so let's go back to John 15. That's why it says, verse 15, and this is Yahushua speaking. Let me go to John 15, and we're at verse 15. It says, Henceforth I call you not servants, for the servant knoweth not what his Lord doeth, but I have called you friends, where all the things that I have heard of my Father I have made known unto you. See? So we know, we understand the scriptures because of the sacrifice of Yahushua, the lamb that was slain, that we just read about in Revelation, the 5th chapter. Okay? It says in verse 16, and this is Yahushua speaking. These in John right here on my phone, it's not in a red letter, but It is in red letters, so this is Yahushua speaking. Ye have not chosen me, but I have chosen you and ordained you, that you should go and bring forth fruit, and that your fruit should remain, that whatsoever ye shall ask of the Father in my name, he may give it to you. These things I commanded you, that ye love one another. And again, love, it goes into obedience. And, contrary to what the pagan Christians say, that they choose, they always say, I chose Jesus. That's a lie. You don't choose the Messiah, which his true name is Yahushua. He chooses us. We don't choose him. All right? The men who are out there prophesying, ministering to the Israelites on the street corners, they didn't choose to be out there on the streets. The Most High, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, chose us to be out on the streets. Okay? They ordained us to be out there. And if we're sincere and we endure unto the end, we're going to receive a reward, which is going to be salvation, and to become joint heirs with Yahushai. But it's not of us. It's because it's nothing that we did. It has everything to do with what Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai has ordained, and they chose us. Okay, Jeremiah 1:5. Well, I'll read 4. It says, Then the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. And before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee and ordained thee a prophet unto the nations. So Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai ordained us before we were out of our mother's wombs. Before we even knew anything about anything, we were ordained to be these spirits, these holy spirits, that wisdom enters into these holy souls and become friends of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai. Okay? And that's what it is, man. It's nothing, it's not of us. It's not because, we were like, oh yeah, I'm going to be a prophet. I'm not, when we were kids, we weren't sitting there like in our head like, oh yeah, I'm going to be a prophet in Babylon, America. No, you didn't. We didn't know what our true duty was until we came into this ministry. And it's the Lord that directed our steps, right? Let me get that real quick. Oh, shit. Ah, shit.